number 7, Scout the Stat Line, first baseman of 2024, CJ Kayfus of Miami University, that is, now playing for the Guardians in Cleveland. His peak projections are 111.8 WRC plus, a 250 batting average, 333 on base percentage, 436 slug, 21 home runs, 6 stolen bases, 10% walk rate, 26% K rate. His 2024 actual line was 405 at bats, 17 home runs, 92 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, a 291 average, 393 on base percentage. Doc, I think we have a very similar profile to Tre Morgan here, but we have a little bit more power shown. And that really intrigues me with Kayfus. Where are you at with him overall?
I think he's more of a Kyle Manzardo, which is an easy comp because they're in the same organization right now, which is also kind of concerning, right? There's only room for one of you in this town, right? You got Josh Naylor there hanging out, I guess, shifting to DH or vice versa, whatever, right? But so that'll be interesting. Manzardo versus Naylor. Then you got Kayfus here. I could have sworn they have another first baseman in their system too. Am I forgetting someone? Well,
no, it feels like they do, but them in the Rays and the Guardians, they're loaded at first base, so
yeah.
it gets hard to.
So I will say that I noticed that there was a big Kayfus bump mid-season, and then I stopped hearing about him as much as the year went on, and that tracks. It seems like his numbers went down a little bit in AA as the year went on. Ended up with a 263 line there for his batting average, but his OBP stayed high, 366. The walks didn't. In high A, he was 23 walks to 33 strikeouts. The ratio expanded to 36 walks to 84 strikeouts at Double A, and he was 22 years old, so he was a little high for high A. Now he just turned 23 last month, so it'll be interesting. I don't really know where to go with him. He feels a little bit like Manzardo, where I'm like, this could be a really solid bat. This could be a guy who sticks. He's just like he's not the flashiest. He's not the highest upside. He's not going to rip 30 home runs probably, but 25 is definitely maybe it's an Alec Burleson type. Maybe that's it. And I know Manzardo and Kayfus here have shown strong eyes. It'll be kind of what we're talking about with Black, but a way different. It's different because they have that real power upside that they're exhibiting, and they have a little bit more aggression. It's just you have to ask yourself how much aggression, because if you start selling out entirely and all your ratios plummet, and now you're still only hitting 20. If you're hitting 20 home runs in MLB with really cruddy ratios, it's not really useful, right? It's just a very mid line. So Kayfus and Manzardo have the risk of being mid, but they also have the tool set to be very serviceable and way more interesting to me than Tre Morgan, because there is that 20 plus home run upside in them. 20 home runs is a very strange number. Would you agree? Because it's like overall in fantasy, if you get 20 home runs, that's actually pretty good. But when you're talking about a first baseman who you are not expecting to run at all, it's almost like it is your minimum you want to see.
Yeah, minimum you want to see, but also price point, right? You talked about Manzardo and Kayfus. I would imagine right now in most leagues, the price for Manzardo is significantly higher than Kayfus. If we're talking about them as similar players, potentially this and that, I might be targeting Kayfus if I'm really looking to just add minor league depth. His profile is interesting at Miami. He was a batting average first at 20 years old in 2022, batted 366. His final collegiate season in 2023, batted 348. Power was middle, 13 home runs in his senior, or I guess in his last year at Miami, and 8 in the year before. So we're seeing the average at least translate in high A, as you talked about, but there was a dip to the 263 level in Double A. I don't know what to make of him yet. I'm happy to add him to my roster for depth because I think I see what you see in the upside.
Mm-hmm.
But the concern I have, and I'm going to bring this up with our next player, is he did not perform well in summer league either seasons, and that's something that I really like to lean on to kind of gauge where they're at with their just raw natural power. So good numbers at Miami, but bad numbers in the summer league. Good numbers at a high A, not great numbers at Double A. Has played 22 games in left field this year, so that may be a transition that they've either started or they're working on with that clog at first base. I am interested to see where the profile goes, but I wouldn't say that I'm going to be giving up very many of my assets to acquire Kayfus.
Yeah, his power ticked up significantly this year, I'd say. Like, and
Mhm.
from his college years in general, which is weird. You don't usually see it go that way. 17 home runs in 107 games. That's maybe over 160 minor league games is giving you 25 home runs. Again, like if he can keep improving this, or if he can stay in that area where he's a 20 to 25 home run threat in the MLB level, or even just a 20 home run threat, it's like, okay, that plays. That's better than Yandy Diaz.